Hi, I'm Hub Arthur for Pro Football Weekly, and we're here to preview the Sunday night game of the week for Week 12 of the NFL season. It's a good one as the Green Bay Packers visit the New York Giants. Our senior editor, Eric Edholm, covers the NFC East. Executive editor, Dan Arkish, covers the Packers. And Dan, Packers in first place by virtue of a tiebreaker over the Chicago Bears, one of the hottest teams in the league, but anything but impressive last Sunday in Detroit.
Yeah, that was quite the game, but they came through when it counted at the end there. Some encouraging things. Jermichael Finley working his way back into the offense hub. He has been invisible pretty much since week one. Randall Cobb continuing to be a major force. I think a real key in this game, we look back at last year's playoff game, the Giant defensive line gave Aaron Rodgers a lot of trouble. The Packer offensive line, which is revamped now with two new starters, they're going to have to do a lot better than they did last year.
Eric, the New York Giants, Eli Manning, does he need to get kissed by a frog? What's going to happen here? How does Eli Manning get it back?
Well, I think a week's worth of rest on bye really probably helped him. He sort of said before that there wasn't any dead arm issue or anything like that, but then he kind of backtracked a little bit and said you're surprised when you get the rest and you feel as good as you do. So I think coming into this week, he's going to feel better. The offensive line can kind of work out some of its kinks. And they can figure out how to get Victor Cruz back on track, at least to the level he was at last year. Teams are just beating him up in the secondary. I think having another receiving option like Hakeem Nicks also needing the rest will help coming off that bye.
Well, and Dan, one of the things the Giants are going to try and do to get their mojo back is get that front four, that front seven going. Evan Dietrich Smith struggled a little bit at guard last week. TJ Lang, who I think will be fine at tackle, struggled too. Can they protect Aaron Rodgers?
It's going to be a tough deal. The thing with TJ Lang, he's a good ball player, but not only is he playing a new position, Hub, he's moving into a different side of the field, and that's quite an adjustment. He had trouble in this last game against the Lions, and so did Evan Dietrich Smith inside, had a tough time, and so it's kind of a work in progress there, and so I really think that's a key point in this game.
Eric, you've got the Packers hoping to get Clay Matthews back, probably still wait for Charles Woodson, maybe for Greg Jennings. I look at the Giants, and they're always injured in the secondary. They got a ton of talent, but they're banged up back there, and this is not a team that you want to be banged up in the secondary again.
Right, and it looks like Kenny Phillips is going to come back. He's missed 6 games. That's a huge addition. They now have 3 good safeties they can work with. You can move Antrell Roll around a little bit. Stevie Brown has made a ton of plays, but also has been out of position at times. They can put him in a role I think that best suits his skills. So getting a little bit healthier back there is important, but I think that rush is important too. I really think, as we were talking about with the Packers offensive line being a little banged up, these Giants, I don't know what the reason is, but they haven't been able to get to the quarterback consistently. Look for them to try a few different personnel packages, ends, stunts, things like that.
Dan, it looked to me like the Packers made a bit of a change against the Lions. Looks like James Starks is going to get a chance to be the lead back now with Alex Green, the change of pace. He was running with a purpose, but still wasn't overly productive.
Right, I believe he had under 4 yards of carry, Hub, but he definitely looks like he's going to be the main guy the way he was a couple of years ago, and we remember how effective he was in that 2010 stretch drive, and so I think he's going to be the main running back from here on out, and they have to establish a ground game.
And Eric, that's what these two teams have in common. The 10 stretch for the Packers, the 11 stretch for the Giants, and with the Giants, Ahmad Bradshaw got healthy, the foot got better. He has not been overly productive this year.
Yeah, right. They checked out his neck over the bye and want to make sure he's healthy. They looked at some veteran free agent options, decided not to sign anybody. They've got Andre Brown. That's a pretty good changeup. They don't trust David Wilson, the rookie, just yet. He was their first-round pick. A lot expected of him, little in return except on special teams. So it's probably going to have to be Bradshaw. They're going to have to keep him healthy and find a way to keep him productive.
All right, guys, prediction time. I'll be on the sidelines for Dial Global with the national radio, so I'm not making a guess on this one, but Eric, we'll come to you first. What happened?
I think the Packers are the better team. As we saw in the regular season game a year ago, Aaron Rodgers is the difference. He was the difference maker at the end. 3 plays, went up the field in no time at the end of the game. I think a similar thing plays out, and Rodgers one-ups Eli Manning.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you, Eric. I just think that with the week's rest, the Giants are going to be tough. And I think the Packers are going to play a lot better than they did the last time against the Giants, but I think the Giants are going to win.
There you go, guys. Our Packers expert takes the Giants. Our Giants expert takes the Packers. This one will be fun. Sunday night, you can have fun all week long. All the best in news, notes, and analysis if you stay with us at ProFootballWeekly.com.